my God, this book is so funny. I must have been having a really bad mental day that day. Okay, he's such a guy. I highly recommend, and I'm not even finished. Trying to use pleasant terms here for the sake of YouTube. When we have control to manipulate our partner into everything we would imagine them to be, how far are we willing to take that? Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. You already know from the title what we are getting into. I am swapping my screen time for reading because it's been out of control lately. I can always tell when I am not my best self or I'm just not being the most productive. It always shows in my screen time, and it has been up this week. So let's take a look back here. Starting on Sunday, it was 4 hours and 54 minutes. Monday, 7 hours and 3 minutes. Tuesday, 7 hours and 29 minutes. That is crazy for me. I must have been having a really bad mental day that day. And then yesterday it was 5 hours and 39 minutes. That is a lot, okay? And I was like, you know what? I'm getting carried away. I'm on the phone a little bit too much. So I want to be really intentional and swap the screen time for reading, because there's also so many other newly released books that are getting ready to come up. And I'm like, I need to get through the newly released books that I haven't even read on my shelf yet. So we will be reading Anniebot by Sierra Greer, and I am loving this so far. I'm only one chapter in and I'm already getting 4-star vibes. This chapter 1 has been one of my favorite chapter 1s so far this year. Anniebot is about this guy named Doug. He has created this robot. Obviously her name is Annie. She was basically created to meet his emotional and physical needs. She has dinner ready all the time. She wears these cute little outfits. She's very aware of like his mood, so she adjusts her responses to his moods. He's able to control her libido to fit his mood. So obviously he's created like the perfect woman for him. The one little hiccup that they have is she's still working on being a better cleaner, but she's trying. She gets an A for effort because she is trying. Any type of feedback that he gives her, she takes it, she programs it, and then she tries to figure out a solution. It's so good. It's so good. And in chapter 1, okay, one of his friends come over and he's like, oh my God, this is so cool. Why didn't you tell anybody that you had this robot? As the reader, it feels like he's a little bit embarrassed. And then even the friend feels like, dude, are you embarrassed? He doesn't want to say this, I guess, in front of Annie, but you can just kind of tell that's the vibe. Plus, he designed this robot to look exactly like his ex-girlfriend, Gwen, give or take a few details. And so that's a little bit weird, but the friend, his name is Ronald or Roland? What the heck is that man's name? His name is Roland. So Roland noticed like, wow, this robot looks a lot like Gwen, the ex-girlfriend. And I just find that very interesting as well. And this Roland guy, listen, he's giving creep vibes. If you've ever watched Pretty Woman, he kind of reminds me of when the friend's like, oh my God, you have like a prostitute in here? Like you didn't tell anyone? And he like makes an advance at her. That's the kind of vibe Roland gives you. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't really like Roland. He is wildly fascinated with Annie. He's asking her all these questions, and she does have a certain amount of intellect that you wouldn't think that a robot would have. So I'm just enjoying it. It is 12:36. The screen time that I am aiming to read is going to be the daily average, which is 5 hours and 24 minutes. Oh, is it focusing? It's 5 hours and 24 minutes. So I am going to start the timer. Hopefully I can power through this. It's not even 300 pages. Oh my God, it's only 230 pages. So I should be able to get this knocked out in 5.5 hours. So let's see. I can't stand Doug, okay? Like, he's such a guy. Ugh, like that type of guy. So fixated on Annie and her looks. And I forgot. So the other part of the book is as she becomes more human, she also becomes less perfect. It's so funny because she goes for these tune-ups, right? The technician or whatever you want to call it, they were basically asking like, is she a little bit moody? I guess because at the stage that this particular Stella, that's what they call the bots. They're called Stellas. They don't call them robots. So at this particular stage, they say Stellas can become moody. So she's like, oh, we can, you know, do some things that can like help boost her mood. He starts to get into physical stuff like, oh, can you make sure that she lose some weight? Can you expand the breast? The lady's like, she's already at a C. And he's like, move it up to a higher C or a D. And I'm just just like, this guy is a lot. He is a lot. I just cannot deal. I'm already loving how the book is exploring like womanhood and control and physical appearance and being human and just so many things. And I'm 43 pages in. This is crazy. Oh my God. So the company, manufacturer, whatever you want to call them, they reached out to see if Doug wanted to do like an interview with Annie. And he was so mad. He's like, we are not doing an interview. Like, he just does not want anybody to know. And I quote, that he's effing a doll. Oh my God. This book is so funny. And it's so sad. It's so much being explored, even from just like a human standpoint, that like when we have control to manipulate our partner into everything we would imagine them to be, how far are we willing to take that? Love that aspect even. I'm just loving it. And I am loving how human Annie is becoming, like conflict by conflict. It's a very fascinating character study story. I'm really enjoying it so far. Whew. I need a snack. Okay, so there is this part that just happened and I just feel like, ugh, we already get such a stigma, we being Black women. So Doug was actually married to a Black woman. Gwen was Black. Only thing that kind of like irks me just a titch is that he paints out Gwen to be a little difficult. And sometimes, you know, women of color, we all get a little reputation that we're a little spicy and a little combative and argumentative, and, you know, we give a little pushback. This little moment, it's very small in the book. I picked it up. A lot of readers probably won't, but because that is something that is constantly shoved out there in the world about Black women, that little part kind of annoys me. Like, why did she have to be Black? Now I wish his ex-wife was white. Then I probably wouldn't even be offended. But because she was Black and he said that she was always arguing with him, I have a little problem with that. Other than that, I'm still loving the book. That does not take away from the book. It's just a little observation that I made, and that's that. Oh, there it is. Okay, plot. Okay, plot. Doug's friend Roland is a trip. Like, the guy is a lunatic. Where is my pen at, child? Because a note is needed. This is crazy. Who wrote this book again? Y'all, listen. Sierra, let me let y'all see this lady. Let me see. Can you see her? Oh my God. You would not think that that lady, the way she looks so innocent and wholesome and quiet and reserved, wrote this little book. This book is funny. It has moments where it's very sexual and very sensual. There are so many levels of manipulation and insecurity, and this is such a good time. I am pleasantly surprised by how much I am enjoying this book, and even just by how much she has delved into 88 pages in. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay, that's good. So this is my second time trying an Anniebot. This is the watermelon lime flavor. It's really good. This would probably be really good in a mixed beverage, or I don't know. It's just very refreshing. This is a very good summer treat. I like it. I like it a lot. But anyway, I only have less than 100 pages to go in Anniebot. We're at 3 hours and 12 minutes. The kiddos will be home any minute. It's almost 4 o'clock at this point, and so I had to stop, obviously make dinner. I really should have been done with this book. Well, not really. I mean, it's still like a 230 page book. So I think I'm reading it at a really good pace, actually. So the way that he punishes her, he basically like makes her go to her docking station. So it's like where she charges. And then this last time, he was really upset with her, so he made her like turn up her libido to like a 10. And the last time her libido was up that high, she was very stimulated, okay, very aroused. And it's just so ironic that she can't, trying to use pleasant terms here for the sake of YouTube and, you know, whoever's watching. So she cannot finish unless Doug is a part of the process, if you're catching my vibe. So he makes her turn up her libido to like a 10. He forces her to get all excited, and then he makes her go in the closet, and she's so sad. She basically was like, he's invented the perfect way to punish me by using my own body against me. I just love how the author wrote that scene. I have really enjoyed getting to know our main character, Annie. She has been such a treat to go down this journey with. This has been very interesting and very fun, and I'm just glad that I'm finally getting to this. This is actually the first book of the month that I've ever actually read. So I actually paused my subscription because I was like, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks from book of the month, and I have never read any of them. That is outrageous, but I'm very excited for all of them. I just never pick them up. And so this is actually the very first book of the month pick book that I am actually reading, and I love that for me. Oh, Mother's Day is Sunday, and Lily brought home her crafts. Oh my God. Look at my nugget, you guys. Oh, this is so beautiful. I love my Mother's Day gift. Thank you. I love you so much. You missed me? You like my hair? Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, so we are 4 hours and 10 minutes in, and oh my God, not me getting sad at this part. Doug and Annie are in therapy, which is so weird that he's in therapy with his robot. Doesn't matter if it's a robot or not. Anytime a human being is betrayed, it takes a lot for us to navigate that betrayal, accept it, process it, forgive. And it's just so sad to be reminded that when there is a betrayal that happens in a relationship, the trajectory of that relationship is forever changed. That old relationship, it won't ever be that relationship anymore. And this line in the book is so beautiful. So the therapist says, Annie's not human, but you are, Doug. You have the capacity to love and forgive. Listen, that is so good. That is so powerful. I feel like it's a gift, people that are able to forgive very easily. And it is true, we do have the capacity to love and forgive, but it is not easy. Loving somebody, especially unconditionally, especially the way that the Bible speaks to love, oh my God. And just loving someone, flaws and all, it's a very hard thing to do. It even says here that when we are betrayed, we can indulge in the cruelest sides of our natures. It often feels powerful and honest. It gives many people a thrill, but afterwards, the effects can be devastating. We are shocked to realize that we can be so vindictive. We cannot reconcile this new behavior with who we think we are, and this creates a dissonance, a deep confusion. We can feel both justification and self-loathing, and this can in turn fuel more anger toward the person that we've abused. And abuse can come in so many different forms, even emotional abuse, and that is typically what happens. Once we are betrayed, we tend to inflict or embark on like an emotional abuse type journey. This is such a beautiful look at how we as humans experience betrayal and control and power, unhappiness, and the list goes on. This is a very, very good read. I am 163 pages in. My friend is actually getting ready to come over. I'm so excited. I am so thankful for my village, because when you are a parent of a child that has special needs, you are not just a parent, you are also a caregiver. So it is so important for you to step away and get breaks. That is one of the main things that I was struggling with. Then I end up burning myself out and I feel drained, and then that leads me to feel sad, and then it's just this whole thing. So my friend has decided that she would come and give me a break from time to time. So her and her husband will come and they will watch Lily, and I'll be able to go and finish out the last hour. It's about 60 pages. It's more than 60 pages. So it's about 70 pages. So I highly recommend, and I'm not even finished. I finished Anniebot, and here is our timer for the day. Love this for me. Oh my God, this book was so cool. It was such a subtle story about women's empowerment. It's not like being thrown at you. It's not overly preachy. Oh, there's just so much goodness. I feel like I need time to sit with everything that the book had to offer. Maybe I need to even write it down so that I can give you guys a very comprehensive wrap up of the book. Or maybe I'll just give like a final wrap up in my May wrap up, or whenever I do a wrap up, because clearly I haven't done one all year. But I decided to just go ahead and finish the story here instead of doing it when my friend came over. You probably hear a lot of background noise. Her and her husband are here. They're watching the game. It's a grand time out there. I'm like, you know what? I'll just stay in here, finish the book, and then I'll use the time that she's here to watch Justice to spend with husband. And so I love this book. I did. She gets to learn how much more intellectual she is, and Doug doesn't even know it. And I'm just like, this book had so many good gems. It had so many good themes on power, women's empowerment, freedom, betrayal, awareness, insecurities, so many things. And I think just because I just finished it, like I said, I need to take a second and just write my thoughts down. I'm just so excited that I finished the challenge. I hope that you guys had just as much fun as I did. Hopefully this inspires you to challenge yourself, or just to be a lot more intentional about reading and making sure that we are not on our phones excessively. Like that one day that I was on my phone for 7 hours is so intense. That is so unlike me, but it's fine. We all have times where we just need to indulge, or we all have different ways that we like to decompress. And so please read this book. This was such a good book. I don't think I can recommend it to everyone, but it's fun, it's funny, it's light, it's intentional, it's thought-provoking. It's all the things that you want in a very good literary fiction. And I'm just like, oh, this was so good. And it has a mixture of sci-fi, and I'm not even like a sci-fi girly. It's so well balanced. I had a really good time with this. I did, and I hope you guys had a good time watching today's video. Don't forget to prioritize self-care, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh boy. So the plot took a little bit of a turn here, okay? There's a lot of tech talk going on. Some of it I don't even know. I had to Google what. I think I'm gonna read a little bit further because I have to, what was that word again? Determine if this is something that I should share or not. I'm still struggling with like how she was made. Like she's so human, but she is a robot. And don't let the science fiction deter you, because it's not overly sci-fi. And it's so funny because at one point the manufacturers are even like, I wonder what it is that he did to you to get you to be this way. You don't need to read 5.5 hours in a day, child. This was again a challenge. I'm almost done with my 4th book, but next week I start working full-time, and I have not worked full-time since Justice, my youngest daughter, was 8 months. That's crazy. So I have worked one part-time job, and then I worked full-time for my mother's daycare center. It was different because she could go to work with me. Now I'll just be working full-time, and she's 6. So we've all got a lot to adjust to.